Hello, my name is Jack Sampson, and today we're going to be discussing the raw food diet. Now, what is the raw food diet? It's a diet consisting entirely of eating just raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, and legumes. It contains absolutely no animal or animal products. Why would anyone want to eat this diet? Well, that's what I want to discuss with you today. I went on the raw food diet for 30 days, and I want to share my experiences with you about the advantages and disadvantages of eating this diet. So, the number one advantage to eating a raw food diet is you will have more energy throughout the day. Now, before going on the raw food diet, I was eating a standard American diet, and I was drinking coffee and energy drinks whenever I needed to boost my energy. And although those gave me energy, it was always that kind of like jittery feeling that I got along with that energy. And I noticed when the energy was gone, I would just crash. It would just be a steep fall. Now, on the raw food diet, you will notice that you have a steady energy that just is very clean, very sustainable, and when it runs out, you gradually glide down. And if you eat some fruits and vegetables, you kind of glide back up again, and you're stable, and it lasts a really long time. Typically, and it was like 7 to 9 hours, something like that. All right, so the second advantage is you will lose weight. I was on the diet for 30 days, and I lost 15.8 pounds was the exact weight I lost. So if you're looking to lose some weight and you've tried other things or other diets, you might want to give the raw food diet a try. All right, number 3 on the list is you will need less sleep. Before I started eating raw foods, I was typically needing about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If I got less than 7 hours, I was just dragging. I wasn't really able to think, and I wasn't very productive if I got less than 7. Now, on the raw food diet, after about the first week, going into kind of like the middle of the second week, I started waking up before my alarm clock. Now, at the beginning, it was like 5 to 10 minutes before my alarm clock, but afterwards, towards the end of the third week, it was 45 minutes, an hour, and I even had a couple of times where it was over an hour that I would wake up ahead of my alarm clock. So I just needed less sleep. And when I say awake, I don't just mean, awake and ready to go back to bed. I mean like wide awake, you're ready to get up. So that was great. Okay. Number 4 is you will have these feelings of euphoria come over you. So you'll have these periods where you just feel amazing, like so happy, and there's no explanation for it. There's no outside factor. You don't know why you're happy. You just are. And these will typically last about 1 to 4 hours. I would compare it to how you feel, when you're in love or you're really excited about some event, like taking a vacation, or maybe you won a prize, something like that. And I don't know how to get those feelings. I tried different food combinations to, get them more often, but unfortunately, I don't know how to bring them about. I just know that if you eat raw foods, you will have some of those periods where you just feel extremely happy. Okay, number 5 is you will have clear thinking when you're on the diet. So you will just be sharp. Your creativity goes up. Your mental clarity is better. You have a better memory. It just feels like your brain gets an upgrade when you're on the raw food diet. Like somebody takes the fog off of it, and you're just clear in everything you do. Number 6, you will have more positive emotions, and you will be more laid back. I'd say it's kind of like a Zen state that you enter. Normally, on my normal diet, if somebody cut me off in traffic or was rude to me or something was unfair, I noticed myself getting, agitated inside, becoming emotionally unbalanced. And when I was on the raw food diet, I was just way more laid back about everything. It just seemed like, I was way more relaxed, and I didn't care as much. It just seemed like, everything was okay and everything was fine. So I didn't ever get emotionally unbalanced. All right, number 7, this is not as big of a benefit, but it's something I noticed, is your sinuses will be clear. So I didn't have as much mucus buildup in my nose, didn't have to blow my nose as often. My breathing was clear. Okay. Number 8, and this is not one I noticed, but a couple of coworkers and friends comment on it, is you will have better complexion or clear skin. Um, One of my friends, she said you have radiant skin. That's a compliment she gave me. So it might not be as big of a deal if you're a man, but if you're a woman, the raw food diet will give you a clear complexion, I guess, or better skin. All right, so those are the advantages. Now there are some disadvantages to eating a raw food diet, and I'm going to go over those now. Now, I did say I lost weight, so disadvantage number 1 of losing that weight, though, is I also lost muscle tone. So I wasn't as, fit looking. I was way skinnier looking when I was on the diet, and I attribute that because I wasn't eating animal products anymore, so I wasn't eating meat or, eggs or milk or cheese. I wasn't eating any animal products, and I think that animal protein is what kept me, looking more, basically bigger. All right, number 2, although I lost weight, I started getting a beer gut, or a bit of a belly. I was getting a belly in the stomach area. Now, I've never had six-pack abs, but I've had a relatively flat stomach, and on the raw food diet, I started getting kind of like a beer belly. So just something to consider. And I was skinnier everywhere else. Okay, number 3, there is an adjustment period when you go on this raw food diet. It typically lasts anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, and the first week was very rough for me. I had a lot of digestion problems, like my digestive system was out of whack the first week, and on the 4th and 5th days, I was just sitting in bed, looking at the walls, kind of like blanking out. I couldn't concentrate. I felt very apathetic. I didn't want to do anything or talk to anyone. So on the 4th and 5th days, I just stayed in my bed, which, think about it, that's 2 days wasted. It's kind of a lot. But afterwards, after I cleared the 7th day, I felt great. Okay, another thing is I started noticing that my teeth, this is disadvantage number 4, it's green teeth, I guess. Started noticing that this film was building up around my teeth, and especially around the roots. When you're on the raw food diet, you have to consume green vegetables, and I was basically doing green smoothies, so mixing up spinach, chard, broccoli, or kale, and just mixing them in with fruit. Sometimes I'd do 1 or 2 or 3, or sometimes I'd have all 4, and I would just mix them in with fruit so they'd be easier to drink, basically like a smoothie. And they were starting to really turn my teeth green. Now I brush twice a day, morning and at night, but when I was on the raw food diet, I noticed that wasn't enough. So I went and saw my dentist. He basically cleaned my teeth, and then I started brushing after every meal. Now the film still built up, but it wasn't as bad afterwards. So just letting you know. Okay, number 5 on the disadvantage list, you will have these intense food cravings where you just feel like you need to eat a hamburger or pizza or something that was in your normal diet before. Now, this could just be me because I didn't do a step-by-step approach, so I didn't go vegetarian and then vegan and then do raw foods. I just went from standard diet directly to raw foods, which was kind of extreme. But I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, but it might have been that my cravings were stronger because I skipped all the other steps, because people usually transition slowly. But since I was only doing it for 30 days, I figured, hey, let's go all the way. Okay, so disadvantage number 6. This may not be a big disadvantage for everyone else, but it was for me. I noticed that my hands were getting very dry, so dry hands. And I noticed this after the first week. I didn't have that same oiliness on my fingers, and about the second week, my skin started cracking, like near where my fingernails were and near my knuckles. And I tried to do some research, and I figured it might be because I wasn't eating enough fats, like enough nuts or avocados, So I just ate even more nuts and avocados, but it didn't really help me. My hands were still very dry. Okay, so that's been the raw food diet. I also wanted to share with you that there's an interesting theory of why the raw food diet makes you feel so amazing. Dr. Edward Howell came up with it. It's called the food enzyme concept, and it's in his book called Enzyme Nutrition, the food enzyme concept. And basically, he believes we have a finite amount of enzymes in our bodies. Now, what are enzymes? They're basically the biomolecules in your body. They're responsible for catalyzing all your body's chemical reactions. So they start up digestion, aid in tissue repair, help fight disease, and they do thousands of other things in your body. They basically start them up. They're kind of like the match that starts the fire. That's how it, metaphorically, I guess, compare them. And he basically says your pancreas, where your enzymes are produced, only has a finite amount that it can produce. And once that finite amount is used up, you basically start, your tissues start to break down, you start getting diseases and things like that. Now, he's basically saying also as well that all foods have enzymes in them, and when you cook them, you denature those enzymes, so you break down those enzymes. So when you eat the foods, you have to produce your own enzymes that digest those foods. Now, his concept was that if you eat live foods, things like an apple or a pear or raw foods, those foods have their own enzymes in them. So when you eat them, you don't use up your own enzymes. You instead use up the enzymes in the fruit. So more of your enzymes are free for tissue repair or cell regeneration and things like that. It's just a theory, and I'm not saying I believe this theory. I just thought it was interesting, from a kind of more scientific perspective. I know it's kind of out there, but still, he's basically saying that's why you feel so amazing, because your tissues are basically being repaired, and there's not as much other stuff using up your enzymes. Your body's got those enzymes freed up because your body's not using them all for digestion. I just thought I'd share that with you. If you want to read more about his theory, it's called, like I said, the book's called Enzyme Nutrition, the Food Enzyme Concept, so feel free to check that out if you want. If you like this video, give it a like or leave a comment below. Or if you have any questions, just ask me. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And thank you very much for watching.
Psst, over here. It's me, the subscribe button. I see you looking at me. Don't be shy. Give me a click.